The next portion of the show, we run through our picks, our weekly picks last week. Where'd you go, Dwight?
Oh, man. Mediocre. 7-7.
Oh, you went 7-7. I went 10-4.
I was lucky to go that 7-7, man.
My overall record is 77-42, which is feeling pretty good. I don't know
That's
how.
really good. I'm 71-48.
Hey, that's all right. You're not too far behind, but I think you got to make progress this week.
Right. You're pulling off a little bit.
All right, we're going to start Thursday night game. Cleveland going to Cincinnati. Johnny Manziel getting the start, my boy.
Stop it, Cincinnati, Dan.
I'm going to pick Cincinnati as well. I don't like seeing Johnny Manziel getting his first opportunity of this season against the best team that they've played so far. It's so frustrating because you know what's going to happen? He's going to look silly, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, I'll give up on Johnny Manziel.
It doesn't matter. He's mediocre regardless.
It doesn't.
Cincinnati.
Okay, and I understand that. You might feel that way, but I don't understand how you can really assess that from the teams he's played. It's not fair to him, especially he's going to go up against Cincinnati now. It's definitely, they're going to get beat. Hopefully he plays well.
You know what's funny about you? You slurp certain quarterbacks and other quarterbacks you completely write off. It's so funny with you because the quarterbacks you really slurp, you slurp hard, and quarterbacks you hate hard. It's just funny to me. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you gotta have a strong opinion on these guys.
I feel you.
No, the reason here's how I feel about Johnny Manziel. I think he has the talent. I don't know if he's going to succeed in the NFL. Listen,
right. He has the talent.
The things he's fallen into off the field, even as he's gotten better, are it's kind of getting brushed under the rug. He had a run-in with the law and his girlfriend a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago.
It happens.
And it turns out he might not have been in the wrong. I'm not really sure. I didn't know the deal. I'm not there. The point is it was kind of brushed aside, but things small things are happening on the side that are not getting talked about. I don't think he's fully that guy that you want off the field yet, but to be honest with you, he hasn't gotten the chance on the field for me to know what he can do on the field. I'm not ready to write him off. I think he has the skill, and I want to see what he can do. Because watching him, and I understand that college is a whole different game, but watching what he did in college, it was fun, it was impressive, and I think if he can move around, get down, get out of bounds, not take those big shots, he's a small frame. And it's impossible to say that you're not going to take big shots. Look at Andrew Luck. He's big. He's taking shots. There's no way around it. I understand that. Johnny Manziel, unless he can figure out a way to not get hurt, that small frame's always going to go against him. So I understand where you're with that, but I want to see what he can do. I want to see his skills. I'm rooting for him, and I think he's a good player. He's fun to watch.
Next.
Andy Dalton wins, though. Jacksonville going to New York. They're playing the Jets. I wanted to pick Jacksonville because they played a lot better as of late. Their offense is so good, but I don't know.
No.
Fitzpatrick isn't going to start, so I don't know who I want to take in this game. As of right now, as of this recording, I'm going to take Jacksonville because I don't know who the quarterback of the Jets is. If Fitzpatrick starts,
here you go with these what-ifs.
I might go on record. Well, because it's, what am I supposed to do? I got to wait till Sunday to find out.
You know what you do? You're going to make a pick like I'm about to do. I'm going with the Jets because of their defense. As decent as Blake Bortles has been playing, they're not going to do that against the Jets at home in New York.
Well,
I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I'm making a decision, and I feel like you should make that type of decision. Forget, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. You know what the Jets defense is, and
I think you're wrong. I do think it matters what the quarterback is. If Blake Bortles is the better quarterback in this game, and the way the Jets have given up all those points they did to Oakland, I don't think they're going to give those kind of points up to Jacksonville, but Jacksonville's been putting points up. Jacksonville doesn't have much of a run game. It's all going through Bortles and basically Allen Robinson, honestly, on the offense end. He's getting to Julius Thomas, too, a little bit. But I'm just going with Jacksonville because I don't know who the Jets quarterback is. Listen, if the Jets start Fitzpatrick, I'll probably change my pick on Sunday. Next game that I think we're actually going to agree on, Washington going to New England.
Oh, well, this is going to take about 5 seconds, New England.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins and
Tom Brady? No.
Nothing.
No, I have nothing for
not
Washington.
Even close.
No, not even.
Does Brady get 45?
Potentially. Potentially this is a situation where Belichick's like, all right, sit down.
I'm going with New England as well. Moving on, St. Louis going to Minnesota. I find this as an interesting game because I talk about how good I think Minnesota is all the time, but they've struggled on offense. For 2 weeks in a row, there's been at least 2 quarters in the games they played. Now, Chicago's a little better, but they're still not all that great because they had a fire sale. They got rid of their best defensive player. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're playing, it's not like their defense is all that good, but yet Chicago still kind of held them at bay for at least 2 of those 4 quarters. I don't like seeing that out of Minnesota, but their defense is playing so well. And St. Louis, Nick Foles, the most of his yards, literally half his yards came on a wide receiver screen pass last week. He had under 100 yards until that. He had 150 yards against Green Bay. So it's 2 games where he was under 150 yards. And one of those games literally came on one play. I have to go with Minnesota because of that.
I'm going Minnesota as well just because of the fact that I believe in their defense more so than I believe in Nick Foles and their offense. Plain and simple. Granted, the running game has been fantastic.
Yes, Gurley is playing so well, and St. Louis's defense is playing really well. But
we got to give them some credit. They've been running the ball fantastically well. I get it, it makes sense, but at the end of the day, I
pointed out the one bad thing they're doing, and they're doing a lot of really good things. I don't mean to take that away from St. Louis. And Jeff Fisher's a great coach.
Oh, absolutely. And we see what Tennessee's out without him.
Yeah. So, how many years later?
It is what it is.
The AFC East has a big battle. Miami going to Buffalo. I was kind of in the air because E.J. Manuel, I'm pretty sure he's still their starter, right?
He should be, yes.
So it's kind of like, I'm going to go with Miami because they came off of a bad game. They came off of a letdown game, and they were playing a lot better before that. With that said, Buffalo has the talent. It's in Buffalo.
I'm going with Buffalo. I don't think they're going to blow out Miami like they did in their first matchup this year. I mean, at what point are we saying, all right, either they're going to get together or not? So right now, this is pretty much my last hurrah with them. Either they're going to do it or no.
Buffalo's defense isn't playing as well as everybody expected them to, and that's frustrating me. And like we said before the year, the difference between these two teams, and as we say about a lot of things, or at least as I and you say I talk about a lot of things, the quarterback play is the biggest difference to me. I just think Tannehill's going to get it done over E.J. Manuel right now.
Understood.
We talked about Green Bay and Carolina, just to reference this quick.
I'm going Carolina.
I'm going to pick Carolina as well. We talked about the defense and we talked about Cam Newton. It's nothing against Aaron Rodgers. It's just, it looks like he's out there by himself right now, and it's frustrating. It's hard to pick them after last week. Tennessee going to New Orleans. We talked about Tennessee firing Wisdom Hunt. We talked about the issues that we both feel Tennessee has, even going higher up in their management. Who you got? Breeze off of 7 touchdowns.
Which is unbelievable. Their defense is also trash, but I mean, it is what it is. They're also 500, and they're kind of rolling a little bit just off of Drew Brees and his momentum. And in saying that, I'm going to continue to go with that. I think they're going to go over 500 against a Tennessee team that is just...
They're a mess right now, unfortunately. It's more their defense than anything. Mettenberg played well last week. If he's their starter, which Mariota's actually questionable, they say he might play. It's going to be with a new coach.
Regardless.
It's scary. It's frustrating. The way New Orleans has played as of the last couple of weeks and last week in general on offense, I don't see Tennessee being able to shut them down. No. I'm going with Breeze at home. Oakland in the 1 o'clock time slot, flying cross country against Pittsburgh. Last week, Pittsburgh lost a heartbreaker. Who are you taking?
Oh, Pittsburgh all day. This isn't even a question for me.
See, it is a question for me because...
Of course it is. You love Oakland. I get it.
I just think they're better than they were last year. But
they're not good enough.
Pittsburgh's defense showed me a lot last week. I talked about it. Outside of that New England game, I really like Pittsburgh's defense. I think Big Ben's going to play a little better. Oakland's defense kind of gives up, some weird points, and I think D'Angelo Williams gets it going. It's the 1 o'clock time slot. I talk about that. I'm taking Pittsburgh. The Giants going to Tampa Bay. Jameis Winston last week getting it done in overtime. He had a really nice game. You can't deny that. He looked like he was carrying that team. I think he's going to be something for years to come. He has Cam Newton type of talent off the field, and that's been the question. Because on the field, he comes off the screen really as somebody. He's so football smart, and it's so fun to watch him play. And I was talking about that when he was at Florida State a couple years ago. I've always been a big football player, Jameis Winston fan. If he can keep it together, and I think he's going to be something special for years to come. He's going to be one of those rare but like Cam Newton quarterbacks that you don't expect that kind of play to get it done. But as of right now, he is. Who you taking though? The Giants giving up how many touchdowns last week?
Speaking of quarterbacks that you like to slurp up, I am going with Jameis. I'm going with Tampa Bay just because of the fact that New York, I said weeks ago that they had an opportunity to overtake the division, and they did capitalize on that. And then you go against the New Orleans team, and you look even worse than what you have all year. I can't believe the fact that you're going to go into Tampa Bay against a Jameis Winston that looked very impressive last week, as you said. So I'm going Tampa Bay.
Over the last 2 or 3 years, I haven't been the biggest Tom Coughlin fan. I think that they need to move on past him. These are kind of games that you want your team to respond and get back to, especially against a really bad defense. And the way your offense played last week, you threw 6 touchdown passes with Eli Manning, which is...
That's embarrassing.
It's impressive.
To lose to it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's impressive that he did that. I'm picking Tampa Bay, but I'm scared of how bad Tampa's defense is and how good the Giants' offense was last week. I don't think the Giants' offense is going to be able to put those kind of numbers up back-to-back weeks. Who knows, though? Tampa's defense, I mean, if you're going to, you want to play Tampa's defense. I'm with you, though. The way Jameis got it done last week, the way Jameis has looked overall throughout the year makes me think that he can get it done against the Giants' defense, because the Giants' defense is a complete wreck. I mean, they were pointing at each other. They didn't know who to cover. And honestly, Jameis has thrown the ball pretty well lately. His wide receivers are coming about, so we'll see how that goes. They're getting the run game involved as well. Talking about Atlanta, they're playing San Francisco, who just bench Kaepernick. We talk about that. Who you taking?
Atlanta, I've been saying lately that I don't understand them. I don't know where they're going right now, but against a dysfunctional 49ers team, I have no choice but to go with Atlanta.
I feel like they have to win this game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, it's Atlanta.
I'm picking Atlanta as well for that reason. I feel like they have to win this game. Carolina's now pulling away, like you said, with the curious play that Atlanta has had. I'm going to take Atlanta just because I feel like that's a desperate game. Their defense actually didn't play horrible against Jameis last week, which we were just talking about. But at the same time, they gave up points that you thought they could have stopped. They're more of a scheme than they are talent. I think eventually they're going to get that talent in there, and they're going to be really good. They're going to be something to beat, but their offense kind of stalling out the last couple of weeks.
There's something off of them right now. I don't necessarily understand what it is, but they need to get it together. And if you're going to play a 49ers team, like I said, I mean, you have to get this win. So I'm going with that.
We talked about Peyton going back to Indianapolis, playing Andrew Luck. Who are you taking in this one?
Denver all day.
I'm going to take Denver as well, just because of the way they're rolling. It's hard to pick. We said about Green Bay, it's hard to pick Indianapolis the way they've been playing as of late.
Definitely.
We talked about Philly, Dallas. I mean, EAGLES Eagles.
I just spelled Dallas too, and it's the same song, bro. It's the same lullaby. DALLAS. It's the same dumb shit. I'm going Dallas.
Chicago going to San Diego. San Diego just lost Keenan Allen.
Tell me you're going against San Diego.
You know how I feel about Phillip Rivers. Their defense.
I will walk off this set if you tell me you don't want Chicago.
Their defense is actually the reason I'm going against them. I think that Phillip Rivers has been playing a little better than expected as of late, but they're just not getting it done, and losing Keenan Allen is a much bigger deal. Listen, Weddle walked off the field. They're just not healthy around Phillip Rivers. It's not going to be his fault that they lose this game. I'm going to go with Chicago because I like the way that Cutler has played. Listen, he's keeping them in games. They're not talented around him right now. Alshon Jeffries is, but they just lost Forte. That's the only thing I would say. Both teams are injured. It's going to be a pretty hard game to watch on Monday night. It's not like San Diego has put up something that you can really like. They're 2-5, man. They're 2-5. They're no better. They're no better.
You have such a disdain for Phillip Rivers.
I'm not a big Cutler fan either. It's not. I'm flipping a coin here. Look at San Diego's defense.
You're picking Jay Cutler over Phillip Rivers.
What has San Diego's defense done?
I can't take you seriously.
Outside of really holding Baltimore, whose offense hasn't been playing all that well, and then Flacco taking him down the field and doing what Joe Flacco does.
Yeah,
Flacco, right? Mr. He ain't elite.
Mr. Money Flacco, right?
I'm taking Chicago.
I'm going San Diego. It doesn't make any sense to me. Your hate for him is unreal because you will never pick San Diego regardless of who they're playing against.
Well, I've won 3 times and they've lost 5, so. Thanks for watching. This is JD Sports. I'm Jarrett Hood. That's Dwight Garfield. You can find our Twitter at _JD Sports. Our personal Twitters will be there.
You can find our Facebook page and the information down below. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe for fresh weekly content. Stay tuned because the best is yet to come.
Thank you.